Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 270. Welcome again to the latest Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services, the commercial finance experts. In this bulletin, fraudulent payment prevention advice, Brexit preparation support and advice for small businesses, and Starling Bank launches online web portal for business customers. Let's open this bulletin with the topic of fraud prevention. Now, banks are doing whatever they can to educate business owners and individuals on the steps that they can take to make sure they don't fall foul of fraudsters. Now, UK Finance, which is the umbrella organisation for many financial institutions, has issued some interesting figures for the first 6 months of 2019. They estimate that banks have stopped fraud totalling £820 million in that first 6 months. Now, this is broken down into a couple of areas. First of all, £408 million was attributable to cheque fraud, remote banking fraud and unauthorised card payments. £208 million was down to authorised push payment scams. Now, this is where you are tricked into sending money to a fraudster's bank account. Now, let's look at that authorised push payment scam from a business perspective. Of that £208 million, UK Finance says approximately £61 million of frauds committed against businesses. And of that £61 million sent, in that first 6 months, only £13.6 million has been recovered. So how can you fall victim to this? Well, you receive an invoice from your supplier, you look at the bank details and you make the payment. However, what can happen is that fraudsters can get into your supplier's computer system, they can change the invoice template and change the bank details to their accounts, and unbeknownst to you, when you're settling the invoice, the money's gone on somewhere else. That's an authorised push payment scam. So what can you do? Well, UK Finance say there are three things. Number one, stop. Stop and think. If you see the bank details have changed, go and check with your supplier just to make double check. Is that really the case? Have you changed your bank? Second step, challenge. Challenge it. Really go back to the fraudsters. Is this right? To see if you can trip them up. And say independently, ring your supplier and double check that no changes have been made. And lastly, protect. Report it to the bank and report it to Action Fraud. So there are some quick things that you can think about in order to make sure that you don't fall victim to fraud. As we record this bulletin at the end of September 2019, in theory at least we have approximately 1 month before the UK exits the EU at the end of October 2019. Now, based on all the political shenanigans going on recently, whether we will exit on that date, who knows? However, it's still important that business owners focus on preparing for Brexit. Now, surveys come out from FSB, the Federation of Small Businesses, and it's looking at the impact of a no-deal Brexit. Now, of the business owners who said that they would be negatively impacted by a no-deal Brexit, and that's about 39% of the businesses they spoke to, only 21% have said that they've undertaken any sort of planning. 63% have said they just don't know what to do. So the FSB is calling on the government to provide more support. It's also in terms of cash flow support as well, asking the government to temporarily reduce VAT, for example. Also calling on HMRC to extend its time to pay arrangements, all designed to support cash flow. Turning to another kind of advice support network out there, Barclays Bank has announced that it's holding another 100 Brexit preparation workshops, this time focusing on workshops delivered in October, November for agricultural and manufacturing firms. So if you are a Barclays customer, you can expect some invites popping through the door shortly. They're going to be held in local community spaces, branches, and also Barclays co-working spaces, the Eagle Lab. Now, if you want more government kind of generic support, just go along to the government Brexit website, which is www.gov.uk/Brexit. If you are going to be affected by Brexit, now time to really ramp up your preparation. Starling Bank, the mobile-only bank, has announced a new addition to its suite of services. For its business customers and its sole traders, of which there are approximately 66,000 of them banking with Starling, they will now be able to benefit from a new online banking service. So if you are like me, that's mobile banking is great, you still like to do some work on your laptop or desktop, well, Starling Bank's now going to make that easier for you. Via its online portal, you'll be able to set up payments, change standing orders, view all your transactions, download statements, and also transfer balances between savings and current accounts. So it's going to make it a lot easier for Starling Bank's customers to manage its payments. If you want to know more about Starling Bank, just go along to its website, which is starlingbank.com. Well, that's it for another bulletin. As ever, I hope you enjoyed watching it, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a like and a share. So that's it. In the meantime, have a great, successful and profitable week, and I look forward to being with you next time.